Hello everyone. Today's lesson is based on idioms, and I would like to say at the very beginning that idioms they form an essential part of the vocabulary section. They play a really an important role if you want to improve your speaking skills, and therefore I have come here today to explain to you 25 English idioms wherein you can just start using them because I'm going to explain to you the meanings of each and every idiom, and I'm also going to give you examples and show you that how you can use these idioms in your daily conversation. I hope you will listen to the video till the end so that you can be benefited from this vocabulary video. And I also request all of you to share and subscribe to my channel if you think that this video is really going to help you. And if anybody of you, those who are watching the video, if you need the PDF of all these 25 English idioms, do write to me in the comment section. I will be sending you the PDF so that you can keep it handy and use it by learning it. Okay, so let's begin.
What are idioms? Idioms are a great way to build your fluency. They make you sound again very natural. They make you sound more like native speakers, and they make you sound very fluent and spontaneous. So if you can learn a few idioms and use it in your daily conversation, it will work like a magic. So today I will give you some 25 idioms. You need to be a little patient with me at this stage because I will actually explain all the 25 idioms with examples. So are you all ready?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one, some may be common to you, some may be a little uncommon, but you can take a screenshot and note it down. Okay, the first one is bed of roses. Have you heard this? Life is not a bed of roses. Not heard. Means life is not something which is very comfortable. Life has challenges for us. So if I say the sentence, you know what? You need to face the challenges because life is not a bed of roses. A bed of roses means something which is extremely luxurious, extremely comfortable, extremely nice and rosy. But life is not like that. So if you want to talk about something about where you have a lot of challenges and problems and difficulties, you can use this idiom that this is not a bed of roses. You need to face these challenges and come out of it. So bed of roses means something which is extremely nice and luxurious. The second one, cakewalk. Again, cakewalk means something which is very easy. Oh, you can say, how can you use it? So, of course, you can say, oh, it was just a cakewalk for me. I just did it so easily. It was just a cakewalk. Cakewalk means something which is very easy. Like, you can just do it like this. That's a cakewalk for me. So maybe, walking 5 kilometers every day is just a cakewalk for me. I do it regularly. Third one, carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. This means that taking a lot of burden on you. So you can use it if you want to motivate somebody, like take it easy. You don't need to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't need to take so much burden. It seems that you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Take it easy. So it's like when you are burdened with a lot of things, when you have a lot of things to do. So that is carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Next is Achilles heel. Achilles heel means a weak point in your personality. Now, how can you use this? You can say like English is, I'm very good at English, but maths is my Achilles heel. Means that's my weak point. I don't know much about maths. It really, I get frightened when it comes to maths. So Achilles heel means one flaw that you have, one imperfection or one weak point in your personality. Add fuel to fire. Add fuel to fire means what will happen if you add fuel to fire? If there is fire and if you add fuel to it, it will worsen the situation, right? The fire will be more terrible. So add fuel to fire means a situation which is already bad, and you make it worse. Okay, so let's say you want to actually put somebody in a difficult situation. So you say something which was not to be said, and you by revealing that secret, you already actually add fuel to fire. So add fuel to fire is a situation which is already bad, but you make it worse. The next one is Dutch uncle. It's a little uncommon, a little British idiom, but you can definitely use it and sounds very native and fluent. Dutch uncle refers to a person who is actually not helpful, but he gives you a lot of unwelcome advice. Somebody who gives you a lot of advice, but when it comes to help, he will not help you. There are many people like that. They will give you a lot of unwelcome advice, one after the other. But when it actually comes to genuinely helping somebody, they will never, do that. So such a person is called a Dutch uncle. The next one is dark horse candidate. Dark horse candidate means when you are very surprised when that person, has a wonderful ability and you never knew that. Everyone was surprised when Pedro won the election because he was a dark horse candidate. A candidate about whom you didn't know much and you never knew that he had some amazing skills. You always considered that, okay, he's like average or he's not good at anything much. But he surprises everybody when he becomes the winner and he becomes like a dark horse candidate. So he, like, for example, in the sentence, Pedro won the election because he was a dark horse candidate. The next one, a person who you consider to be very average, but that person surprises you with some amazing skills and talents. Means somebody who never knew that he had those skills. I always considered that he is just average. That like for example, Pedro, he won the election. Nobody expected him to win because everybody thought that he didn't have any popularity. But he surprised everyone and he won the election. So he was like a dark horse candidate. People never expected him to win, but he won. Is dead as a doornail. Dead as a doornail means something which becomes very boring and uninteresting. When Monica quit the show, the class play was as dead as a doornail. So it becomes very boring and uninteresting because the main person quit the show. So if the main person quit the show, all the audience attention vanishes. It just evaporates. And the play becomes dead as a doornail. Dead as a doornail means it doesn't have any interest in it any much, and it becomes very boring and uninteresting. The next one is dime a dozen. Something which is very common and found in huge numbers. In several numbers you can find it. You can find it every now and then. He thought his old books were rare, but they were a dime a dozen. Means they were found everywhere. He thought that they were rare, but actually they were found everywhere. So instead of everywhere, you can say they were dime a dozen. A dime a dozen means something which is found everywhere and it is not at all rare. It's very common and very simple. Something which is very common and simple, found in many numbers. The next one is dog days of summer, the scorching days of summer, when it is extremely hot. Dog days of summer means the days of summer when it is extremely hot. Sales of air conditioners are usually the highest during the dog days of summer. Of course, when it is very hot, people flock to the shops and they want to buy the air conditioners and they want to, get some kind of a comfort. So when it is highest during the extreme scorching days of summer. So instead of scorching days, you can say dog days of summer. The next one is early bird catches the worm. Now, early bird catches the worm means, okay, it means that if you are early, if you are the first one to start a project, your chances of success are the highest. If you are the first one to start a project and compared to others, your chances of success will be the highest. I'll give you one example. Okay. The next one is eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. This means that when you get something from someone, you even give it back in the same manner, in a revengeful manner. Amanda took Harry's bicycle after he took her skateboard. That's what I call an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Means something you take from somebody, and in return, that person also takes something from you. So it is like it balances out the entire thing. So this person called Amanda, she took Harry's bicycle. Now Harry also needs to do something. So what he did, he took her skateboard. So that's, now it is equal, it's same, it balanced it out. So that's what I call an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. The next one is every Tom, Dick and Harry. This is a common one. This means every other person that you see around. Like if a new thing comes in fashion, for example, there's a particular kind of dress which comes in fashion. Within few days, you will see every Tom, Dick, and Harry wearing the same kind of dress. So every other person. Example: I wanted this to be a small private party, but Victoria invited every Tom, Dick, and Harry. So she invited everybody. Every other person were invited for the party. So it no longer was a private party altogether. It became a party for everyone. Face the music. Face the music means when you do something wrong and you have to face the consequences. So the music over here is not the pleasant music. It's like the unpleasant consequences that one has to face. Let's consider, in school, a child is caught cheating, has been caught cheating. So what will happen? Now he has to face the music. What kind of music? Parents will be called. Principal will call him in the room. So that is facing the music. Getting a scolding, getting some unpleasant consequences. The result is some unpleasant consequences. That is facing the music. Fair weather friend. Fair weather friend means a friend who is always with you only when your situation is good. But the moment you are in a difficulty, such friends, they desert you. They leave you. They are not with you in your bad times. They're only with you in your good times. Yes, there are some friends like this, though it's very unfortunate, but yes, we all have some friends like this. Fair weather means when the weather is good. So the example is, you can't count on Mike to help you when you are in trouble because he's just a fair weather friend. The moment I have a difficulty, he is nowhere to be seen. So that's, such a person is known as a fair weather friend. Fat cat. Fat cat means a person, a wealthy person who is usually utilized when you are looking for some sponsors or donations or something like that. Okay, so maybe we can get some fat cat to contribute money for the new gym. A person who can sponsor or who can donate something. So such a person we usually call a fat cat. It can be anyone, but what the main thing is, he has a lot of money and he can sponsor something. Feather your nest. Feather your nest means there are people who always tries to give themselves a protective environment. They want to see whether everything is working for their benefit, and they are least bothered about others' needs and others' requirements. Usually politicians, we have a idea that politicians are like that. What they will do the moment they get into power, or once they are in their office means power, they will always try to protect their environment and see everything is working for their benefit. So the newly elected leader was accused of using his office to feather his own nest. Of course, a leader is supposed to look into the needs and requirements of the common people, but unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that most of the time. So the newly elected leader was accused of using his office to feather his own nest. I hope it's clear till here. Winning the competition was quite a feather in my cap. So if you have many awards, if you have won many awards, you will have many feathers in your cap. This idiom actually goes back to the olden days when the Red Indians, whenever they used to win a battle, they used to have a feather in their cap. And the numerous battles that they won, it used to increase the number of feathers in their cap. So the maximum number of feathers shows that how many battles they have won. That's a kind of an achievement. In the modern context, we can use this like she has many feathers in her cap because she has won numerous awards in her career. So she has many feathers in her cap. Get a handle of something. Get a handle of something means when initially you have difficulty, but slowly you get into the practice and you are comfortable. Rachel had a lot of problem with geometry, but I think she's getting a handle on it. She's getting used to it. She's getting comfortable with it. Initially she had problem, but now she's getting comfortable. Get into the swing of things. Get into the swing of things means something which you, again, were not very comfortable in the initial part, but now you get into the habit of it. Barry did not join in many activities at first, but now she's gotten into the swing of things, into the practice of things. Get a handle of something means when you become comfortable, and get into the swing of things means get into the practice. Slightly different, these two idioms. Get your feet wet. Meena had never participated in a drama, but she took a small part just to get her feet wet, just to get some experience, just to see how it is, just to get a hang of it. Getting the feet wet means just to see how is the experience. Okay. The next one is ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss means when sometimes purposely you don't want to know something because you understand the moment you know about it, your happiness will be ruined. Bliss means extreme happiness. So how can you use this? The bad news can wait until tomorrow. You know that there's a bad news for you. It can be anything. It can be a new deadline that you have to meet. It can be a new project you have to submit. It can be about an upcoming examination. It can be about any submission. So you know that's bad news for you and you don't want to purposely hear that because you feel, okay, ignorance is bliss. It's better I don't know it. So you can use it. The bad news can wait until tomorrow. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Lap of luxury, extremely luxurious life. Sandy lives in the lap of luxury in her mansion in London. So instead of telling luxurious life, you can say she lives in the lap of luxury. Means she lives a very luxurious life. In the nick of time. In the nick of time means in the exact time. I think this is a common one. I arrived in the nick of time. Otherwise, I would have missed the train. In the exact time. Luckily, David backed up his crucial files in the nick of time. The computer crashed very soon. So at the correct moment, you did it. It can be arriving at a station. It can be submitting your exam paper at the exact time. in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Something which is very fast, very quickly you do it. When the fire alarm sounded, the teacher told us to leave the classroom in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. So the teacher told us to leave the classroom because there was a fire, and we just rushed out of the classroom. So very quickly, in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, we rushed out. So you have learned 25 idioms. Now your challenge is you have to practice it and you have to use it in your conversations time and again so that you don't forget it.